Deshaun Watson isn't letting the front office's criticism get to him. Just one day after Browns owner Jimmy Haslam blasted him as a swing and miss, Watson posted a series of workout photos on Instagram as he continues recovery from 2 Achilles injuries. In a cryptic caption, he remarked, "Maybe, if I weren't built for this, I'd let it faze me." The statement was a clear message that while he's feeling the pressure in Cleveland, he's focused on getting back into shape, even if his recent performance has been less than stellar. Watson, once a dynamic force with the Texans, has struggled to find consistency since being traded to the Browns in March 2022 for multiple draft picks and a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed contract amid off-field controversies. With his on-field production limited to 19 touchdowns and 12 interceptions over 3 seasons, and with 2 torn Achilles now keeping him sidelined, likely missing the entire 2025 season, the Browns' skepticism about his future has only intensified. Now, as Watson works hard to recover, the noise from Cleveland is clearly reaching him, but he's determined not to let it define his comeback.
What's up, NFL fans? Things are heating up in Cleveland, and not in a good way for quarterback Deshaun Watson. Just one day after Browns owner Jimmy Haslam publicly referred to Watson as a swing and miss by the front office, the embattled quarterback has fired back with a cryptic message on social media. We're diving into this quarterback controversy, exploring Watson's injury situation, the Browns' potential draft plans, and what the future might hold for this turbulent situation in Cleveland. Let's get into it. The Cleveland Browns' acquisition of Deshaun Watson was one of the most talked about and controversial moves in recent NFL history. The team traded multiple high draft picks to the Houston Texans in March 2022 to acquire the star quarterback and then handed him a massive 5-year, fully guaranteed contract worth a staggering $230 million. This all happened despite the serious accusations of sexual misconduct from multiple massage therapists that were hanging over Watson. Unfortunately for the Browns, the on-field results have been far from what they hoped for when they made this significant investment. As the video you sent over details, Deshaun Watson has looked like a shadow of the player he was during his time with the Texans. In 19 games played across 3 injury-plagued and suspension-riddled seasons in Cleveland, Watson has thrown for just 19 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. His performance has been, to put it mildly, mediocre, especially considering the high expectations and the massive contract. Now, Watson is facing an even more daunting challenge. He is attempting to come back from not one, but 2 torn Achilles tendons since October of last year. The second tear occurred while he was actually rehabbing the first, which is a significant setback. The video indicates that it is likely Watson will miss the entire 2025 NFL season as he recovers from these serious injuries. Against this backdrop of underwhelming performance and significant injuries, Browns owner Jimmy Haslam made some rather blunt and critical comments about his team's quarterback. He reportedly referred to Deshaun Watson as a swing and miss by the front office. These comments have been widely interpreted as the Browns essentially giving up on the 29-year-old quarterback, who is still owed a hefty $46 million in each of the next 2 seasons, regardless of whether he plays or not. Just one day after Haslam's critical remarks surfaced, Deshaun Watson took to Instagram to seemingly respond to the owner's comments. He posted multiple pictures of himself working out as he continues his recovery from the Achilles injuries. Along with the photos, Watson included a cryptic caption that read, "Maybe, if I weren't built for this, I'd let it faze me." This post can certainly be seen as Watson's way of saying that he's not letting the criticism get to him and that he's determined to overcome his current challenges. However, the situation in Cleveland remains complex and uncertain. The Browns are currently sitting with the number 2 overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Given Watson's injury status and his struggles on the field, there's a strong possibility that the Browns could decide to use that high draft pick to select a quarterback. The video mentions 2 potential candidates, Shedeur, the highly touted quarterback from Colorado, and Cam Ward, who is expected to be the number 1 overall pick by the Tennessee Titans. Drafting a quarterback with the number 2 pick would signal a significant shift in the Browns' long-term plans at the position and would further cloud Watson's future with the team. Adding another layer to the quarterback picture in Cleveland is Kenny Pickett. The Browns acquired Pickett in a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles back in March. Currently, Kenny Pickett sits atop the Browns' quarterback depth chart. This acquisition provides the Browns with a potential starting option for the 2025 season if Watson is indeed unable to play. It also adds competition and uncertainty to the quarterback room. So, what does all of this mean for Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns? It's clear that the relationship between the owner and the quarterback might be strained. Given Haslam's public criticism, Watson's recovery from 2 torn Achilles tendons is a long and challenging process. And his ability to return to his former Pro Bowl level form is far from guaranteed. The Browns, with a high draft pick and a new quarterback in Kenny Pickett, have options moving forward. The decision of whether or not to draft a quarterback at number 2 overall will be a crucial one for the franchise and will likely have a significant impact on Deshaun Watson's future in Cleveland. The situation is definitely a quarterback controversy brewing in Cleveland. Will Deshaun Watson be able to prove his doubters wrong and return to his former glory? Or will the Browns move on and look to the draft or Kenny Pickett to lead their offense? Only time will tell. What are your thoughts on Jimmy Haslam's comments about Deshaun Watson? Do you think Watson will ever return to his Pro Bowl form? And what should the Browns do with the number 2 overall pick in the draft? Should they take a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders? Share your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe for more NFL news and analysis. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the updates on this developing story. We'll catch you in the next one.
Get ready for a dose of accountability from Cleveland. The Browns owner Jimmy Haslam recently admitted that the team made a monumental error in trading for Deshaun Watson. A trade that, in hindsight, turned out to be a big swing and a miss. Once touted as a franchise quarterback, Watson's tenure in Cleveland quickly spiraled into a nightmare. On the field, his performance was anything but promising, marked by poor play and an 11-game suspension at the start of his Browns career following multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. Off the field, the controversy only deepened, bringing unwanted scrutiny and tarnishing the franchise's reputation. Even as injuries forced him out of action, like a season-ending injury last season, Watson simply couldn't live up to the lofty expectations. At the league's annual spring meetings, Haslam didn't mince words. Speaking to the media, he confessed that the Watson trade was a mistake, saying, "We took a big swing and miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback, we didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole. It was an entire organization decision, and it ends with D and me, so hold us accountable." These remarks come as no surprise to longtime observers who've wondered why the Browns kept starting Watson, despite the mounting evidence that he wasn't working out. With his contract, a 5-year, $230 million deal that's since been restructured, keeping him on the roster, the decision to stick with him felt like throwing good money after bad. Now, as the team faces the challenge of rebuilding and finding a true franchise quarterback, with the second pick of the NFL draft still looming but no commitment yet, the Browns are finally acknowledging the mistake. While former star Kenny Pickett remains a potential option, the looming question is whether it will take a year or two for Cleveland to figure out their quarterback plan. For now, the Browns are in the process of moving on from Watson, accepting that sometimes even the boldest moves end up as costly missteps. It's a hard lesson in NFL business, and one that the Browns are now at last ready to face head on.